morning, Blue Dragons, and we are all the way live. It's another gorgeous day in paradise. And we are going to do something different today. We're going to do the emotional flow. Now, I've been teaching emotional self mastery for more than 10 years. I've certified it over a dozen people in emotional mastery. But I just found out about something called epigenetics. Now, what is epigenetics? That is the trauma of a parent or a grandparent can then be transferred to you, and you have no clue about why you feel so disconnected when you're a kid. When you're 1, 2, 3, 4 years old, you're completely disconnected. So I've been reading a lot about epigenetics and trauma, multi-generational trauma, and trauma release. And what I discovered is that Qigong releases trauma, particularly two things in Qigong. Number one is the psoas muscle. So all of the anger, the liver twist, and the anger dance, those two things, as we do this, we release tension in the psoas muscle, which is where trauma is held in the body. Completely blew my mind. There's a whole science on trauma release exercises. And dance is the number one thing that releases trauma. The second thing is the central nervous system, or the central channel in traditional Chinese medicine. The cerebrospinal fluid also gets sticky and dirty. And then when we do back bends and forward bends and all of the bouncing and turning, we release the tension in the central nervous system and the cerebrospinal fluid, which are chemical messengers that go to the brain. All of those movements release trauma. So I am ecstatic that I can now add trauma release to the benefits of doing the Blue Dragon Qigong. And now we're going to get started. And this is for blood pressure, for those of you who don't know. Moving the arm like this, that creates suppleness in the blood vessels that lowers blood pressure. So the memory brush, the cranial tap, the thyroid pluck, the pancreas poke, the gonad bump, the sacral pump, the pituitary push, and the pituitary pull. Drum your lungs. Side to side. Drum your lungs. Side to side. So you should sing side to side. Now drum your lungs. Side to side. Drum your lungs. Side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Drum your kidneys. Side to side. Drum your kidneys. Side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now drum your kidneys. Side to side. Drum your kidneys. Side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now drum your chest. Side to side. Drum your chest. Side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now drum your thymus. Side to side. Drum your thymus. Side to side. Sing along with me. Qigong side to side. Now drum your sacrum. Side to side. Sacral pump. Side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now drum your sacrum. Sacral pump. Drum your sacrum. Sacral pump. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now drum up your arms. Drum down your arms. Drum up your arms. drum down your arms. Drum up your arms, drum down your arms. Switch arms, drum up your arms, drum down your arms. Now drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, switch your legs. Now drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, drum your legs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now drum your heart, drum your lungs. Drum your heart, drum your lungs. Qigong. Qigong, side to side. Now drum your heart, drum your lungs. Drum your heart, drum your lungs. Qigong, side to side. Qigong, side to side. Now slap your liver on the right. Slap your sleeve on the left. Slap your liver on the right. Slap your sleeve on the left. Drum your liver, drum your spleen. Drum your liver, drum your spleen. Drum your liver, drum your spleen. Qigong, side to side. Now drum your belly, side to side. Drum your belly, side to side. Drum your belly, side to side. Old age, sickness, suffering, and death. You don't want any of that. Old age, sickness, suffering, and death. Prevention is the only cure. Qigong cultivates my breath. To live a drug-free life and more. Asthma, allergies, diabetes, heart disease. Qigong is the only cure. Qigong lifestyle is for me. So I can be pain-free and do more. Old age, sickness, suffering, and death. Prevention is the only cure. Qigong cultivates my breath. To live a drug-free life and more. Asthma, allergies, diabetes, heart disease. Qigong is the only cure. Qigong lifestyle is for me. So I can be pain-free and do more. Now pluck your thyroid side to side. Pluck your thyroid side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now pluck your thyroid side to side. Pluck your thyroid side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now poke your pancreas side to side. Poke your pancreas side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now bump your hip bones. Gonad bump. Bump your hip bones. Gonad bump. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now make little hammers at your fingertips. Pineal push side to side. Pineal push side to side. Qigong side to side. Put your thumbs on your temple. Pull apart your forehead. Pituitary pull side to side. Pituitary pull side to side. Qigong side to side. Now memory brush side to side. Memory brush side to side. Qigong side to side. Now cranial tap side to side. Cranial tap side to side. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now you just went to Qigong school so you could learn a healing tool. Asthma, allergies, diabetes, heart disease. Okay. So now we're going to do the lymph swing. Up on your toes, palm up, chin down, bend your knees. Okay, stop the music for a second. Okay, so emotional release or trauma release, emotional trauma release, is a really, really, really important issue. And Gabor Mate is coming out with a film called The Wisdom of Trauma. I don't think that's a really good name, but I previewed the film. It's a really good film. So, when we do this, I think it's a way of getting rid of stored anger, frustration, resentment, shame, blame, and guilt. I think that we hold these things inside. Now, there's a guy by the name of David Hawkins who wrote a book called Power versus Force. I've read this book 3 times in the last 10 years. And what he basically says is that guilt and shame are internalized emotions that make us feel unworthy, undeserving, that hold us back from moving forward. And I'm here to tell you that guilt and shame are programmed into your childhood by your parents who were affected by religion. So your parents' religiosity projected guilt on you and projected shame on you, and you internalized it because you were a child. And that the lack of emotional responsiveness of your parents created your psychopathology. So, abandonment, rejection, betrayal, abuse are all things that happen to us in childhood. It does not have to come from your parents. It could come from your siblings. It could come from your extended family. It could come from school. It can come from any number of sources. But when you hold that in as a child, how do you release it? And after 37 years of teaching Qigong, I'm here to tell you that you can release all of your childhood trauma with Qigong, and specifically this exercise. So I'm going to break this one down really quickly. So up on your toes, bend your knees, rock back on your heels. This is an important thing because the calves literally squeeze the blood back to the heart. Up on your toes, bend the knees, rock back on the heels. Now, when you rock back on the heel, you arch your back and look up. That is a particular movement that breaks up stagnation in the cerebrospinal fluid that lubricates the dural tube, which holds your spine and your spinal cord, and your vagus nerve. So the whole looking up thing activates your vagus nerve. It also sends lymphatic fluid into your brain. So bend the knees, rock back on the heels. Bend the knees, and that's the movement. Now, the first part of the movement is up on your toes. Up on your toes, chin down. And then bend the knees and rock back on the heels. Now, I don't know if I'm talking too softly, but I'm getting an emotional feeling right now that you need this. And I know you've seen me do it 100 times. I know the regular students have seen me do it 100 times, but I bet my regulars are still not doing it just right. So I want to reinforce up on the toes. So now I want you to put your hands in your armpit, palm down, palm up. You can feel, you can feel this move, and this is the largest lymph gland in your body. and it's connected to the first heart acupuncture point. So your heart, you can reach your heart through here. Wow. So there's a lot going on with trauma release. The number one cause of death is heart disease, followed by stroke, which is followed by hypertension. So, what does that mean if we're dying from heart disease and all we have to do is release the pain in our hearts? Wow! Now, if you put your right hand, if you find the center of the breastbone, find the center of the breastbone, put your thumb in the center, that is the exact size and location of your heart. Okay, your hand is not flat. Okay, thumb here. No, the center of the breastbone. No, that's the bottom of the breastbone. The center of the breastbone. And now lay your hand flat. There you go. That's where your heart is. And your heart is nested in between two chambers of the lung. The right lung has three chambers. So the heart and lungs are not separate. They're one system. It's not heart and lung, it's heart lung. Now, when you are experiencing grief, what do? You and when you experience sadness and loneliness, what do? So those are both extremes that shut down the blood in and out of the heart. So the first thing that we have to do to release trauma is to get the blood moving in and out of our heart. That's the first thing you got to do. Get the blood moving. Now, how does the blood move? Well, you have a diaphragm. You have a muscle that when you breathe out, the diaphragm pushes up against the bottom of the lungs. Now, when you put your thumb at the bottom of the breastbone, that's the size and location of your stomach. And if you put your left hand behind, that is your pancreas. And then if you slide the left hand to the left, that's the spleen. The right hand to the right, that's the liver. So all those organs are right there. So when you breathe out consciously and with force, your diaphragm pushes not only the air out of the lungs, but it pushes against the stomach, the pancreas, the spleen, and the liver. And the liver stores excess blood. Whoa! So breathing out forcefully through your nose, which we call the breath of fire, or rapid breathing in Qigong. We just call it rapid breathing. But in the yogic tradition, they call it breath of fire. That strengthens the diaphragm and gets the blood moving. Wow. So you've heard the expression, take a deep breath, take 10 deep breaths. So taking a deep breath means nothing because you don't have to think about taking the breath in, but you have to think about taking the breath out. So when you breathe in, the oxygenated blood goes through the body. When you breathe out, the deoxygenated blood goes back into the lungs. So that's what's going on. And that's why if we have trauma, we go through something called tremors and we literally shake it off. If you're a football player and you get hit really hard unexpectedly, or you get blindsided, you shake it off. If you're a boxer and you get punched and you get knocked down, you shake it off and you jump back up and you get back into the fight. If you fall off your bicycle as a kid, you get up, you shake it off, get back on the bike. But how many people don't shake it off? How many people hold the trauma in their bodies and they never shake it off? And they're stuck in abandonment, stuck in rejection, stuck in betrayal, stuck in abuse. And when this abuser is done, they find another abuser. They keep finding people to abuse them. So I am saying unequivocally, without question, You need Qigong. The world needs Qigong just for emotional balance. And I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you to join the Facebook group, Blue Dragon Qigong Academy. And I want you to tell everybody you know, you need Qigong. Okay, start the music. So, raise your hands in the air and shake them like you just don't care. Now, when you raise your hands up, the heart gets pulled out of its little nest. Raise your hands in the air and shake them like you just don't care. So when I was in college, this is what we used to do at exam time. And we would dance for hours and hours. And when you go to the concert, what do? You pump your arms. And when you pump your arms, what are you doing? You're getting blood in and out of the heart. Okay? So as we get older, is this something that we do when we get older? No, this is not anything that we do when we get older. Look at your parents, your grandparents, your aunties and uncles. Do they do this? Aren't you glad to be alive? So we're getting blood in and out of the heart. So let me ask you a question. How do you protect your heart from heart disease? Dance more. You gotta dance in order to protect your heart. You gotta dance. Okay, you can put your arms down now. Now, the heart is related to the kidneys. The kidneys are the pilot lights. The kidneys heat the blood. So there's something called kidney fire. Kidney fire is your will. It's your determination. It's your mental focus. I will not give up. I'm going to keep doing this until I succeed. So, how do we build kidney fire? This is how we build kidney fire. Now you can make your legs a little bit wider. You can go a little bit lower. No, make your legs wider. No, wider. No, wider. More. There you go. That's it. So, Katniss, does this look like a dance that you did in high school? And you can go from side to side. Now, the aorta is the biggest artery in your body. The aorta goes to the renal artery, which is just above your kidneys. The renal artery goes to your urogenital system. So, when you have fear, what happens? You freeze. You go, So fear causes you to freeze. And when you freeze, what happens to your nervous system? It goes on red alert. And it goes like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. What's going to happen now? Ah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. So this is what you do. Kidney heart. Now, earlier this week, I taught you a standing meditation for the kidney heart. Does anybody remember that one? So, you're in Wu Chi. You go up on your toes, and you're supposed to spend 1 minute standing on your toes. And then you put your hands up in the air. And you're supposed to do that 1 minute every day for 10 days. And then 2 minutes. And, oh, not 10 days, 3 days. And then take it to 2 minutes, and then 3 minutes. And at the end of 30 days, you got 10 minutes in standing meditation. Now, this is way more fun than doing standing meditation. But I guarantee you, if you do this every day, this is the Qi dance for fear, for anxiety. Now, we already said fear attacks the urogenital system. Now, where is that on the surface of the body? It is the quadratus lumborum. Quad meaning 4, lumbar meaning the lumbar spine. Left, center, right. Center, left. Center, right. Center. You're not doing what I'm doing. Okay, so anxiety is the hamstring. And when people are anxious, what do? Their legs shake or their arm shakes. So, there we go. Fear and anxiety. That's how we release the trauma of fear and anxiety. Okay. Now, this one is I'm mad at my family. I'm mad at my partner. I'm mad at my coworker. I'm mad at my sister. I'm mad at my cousin. And when little kids are mad, what do, Katniss? Do they stomp their feet? Why, yes, they do stomp their feet. So, stomp, pull back, stomp, pull back, stomp. So we're going to move in a circle. We're going in a circle. So you should walk around me. You should walk around me. No, we got to bring the foot back. So we got to bring your left foot back. Okay, now we're going to stop and we're going to go the other direction. Okay, that's called the Cherokee Stomp Dance. Okay, now this is called 6 harmonies. So we're going to do side to side with the hips. Stand up, bend your knees, stand up, bend your knees, stand up. Now, I want you to move your knees. Go into Wuchi. Your feet are underneath your hips. No, your hips are smaller than that. That's it. Okay, we slow it down. Now we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to do the bump. You're going to step, bend your knees, and bump. Step, bend your knees, and bump. 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 So I want you to be graceful with it. This is the other part of hula. Bump. Now we're going to see if we can put both of those movements together. So we're going to do this and bump, bump.
Dr. Botanica says it's a great way to start the day.
Knees, step, bump. 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 Okay, we're going to speed it up a little now that you got it. So do you think this gives you confidence in moving? Yeah, I think you do get confidence.
Go, Rachel.
Trauma release dance. Wow, that's really powerful stuff. That's really powerful. So when you are stressed out, do you cross your legs like this? Or is that just a female polite thing when you wear short dresses? What is that? Yes. Okay. Now, body language. Body language. Okay. Body language. I can read you right through the phone. I know what's going on in your mind. Okay. So, lean back, breathe out, breathe in, turn, breathe out. Okay, now lean back, and now we're going to swim towards the sky. Okay, now bend over, put your arms back. You're going to scoop up earthly chi, mix it with cosmic chi, and pour it over your head, your heart, and your body. Okay, now feet together. step. Step in. Step out. Step in. Step out. So this is for the lungs. It's called the long swim. Swim to the sky. This cleans the lymphatic system that goes into the breast tissue and also the lungs. So this cleans up the dirt that could possibly cause breast cancer. That could possibly cause breast lumps that could possibly turn into breast cancer. Heart, lung. Heart, lung. Heart, lung. Okay. So the next one is called the Sleep Wave Away Worry. Okay. Who is your God?
Who is your God? A wrathful old man with long white hair, or a loving godparent with kind loving care? How is your God? Vengeful, jealous, and punishing, or total acceptance, unconditional, forgiving, and loving? When is your God? Once a week in a building, keeping you apart from the other 6 days, not acting with compassion and heart? Where is your God? Surrounded by angels up in the sky, or inside your body filled with love, never to die? What is your God? First pleasure or greed, money and power? Please show me where they have created a flower. What is your God? What is your God? Are you angry with God because you didn't know that all along you had choices to go high or go low? Anger, frustration, resentment, shame, blame, and guilt are part of the program you allowed to be built. 7 deadly emotions are just thoughts that got stuck. I won't call you when you're stuck. You'll just have to fuck. What gets you to God is not situation or circumstance. It's your intention to do the holy and divine dance, making your body, mind, and spirit all right. Who's your God? Breathing, meditation, and internal exercise. Spirits aware from the root to the crown. 7 seals connect the body to the mind, lifting you up. Higher ground, higher. So how will you play out the rest of your life's movie? Avoiding pain in your mind while smoking a doobie, making it groovy with anger and fear stuck in your body in ordinary human fashion? For God's patience and action every day, unconditional, loving compassion.
Okay, now stop. Now we're going to step. You're going to go over the head.
Who is your God? Wrathful old man,
Step.
long white hair.
Bend your knees
Or a
and
loving
turn.
godparent with kind loving
Step.
care.
Step.
How is your God?
Bend your knees
Vengeful, jealous,
and turn.
or total acceptance, unconditional, forgiving, and loving? When is your God? When is your God? Once a week in a building, keeping you apart from the other 6 days, not acting with compassion and heart? Where is your God? Surrounded by angels
Up in the sky,
or inside your body,
filled with love and never to die.
What is your God? Perverse pleasure or
Greed, money, and power,
Please show me where
they
they
have created a flower.
Are you angry with
God
God
because you didn't know
that all along
you had choices
to go
to
high,
go high
or go low,
or go low?
anger, frustration,
resentment, shame, blame, and guilt are part of the programming you allowed to be built.
7 deadly emotions are just thoughts that got stuck. I won't call you when you're stuck. You'll just pass the buck. What gets you to God is not a situation or circumstance. It's your intention to do your own and divine task. Exercising your body, mind, and spirit all breathing, meditation,
And internal exercise.
Spirits aware from the root to the ground, to the ground. 7 fields connect the body to the mind, lifting you up to higher ground. So how will you play out your life? Your life is avoiding pain in your mind, in a groovy thinking, with anger and fear stuck in your body in ordinary human fashion.
God to teach in action every day with loving compassion. Wow. You need that show compassion to the jerks, to the assholes. Oh, very good. Very good. Okay. Okay, so we're back to the liver. Extend your arm, twist your foot. Extend your arm, twist your foot. Extend your arm, twist your foot. Do the liver dance. Got ants in your pants. Do the liver dance. Get the anger out your pants. Now we're going to do the liver twist. So you're going to step to the side. You have a ball of chi that's filled with all your anger, and you're going to throw it away. Step in, step out, and throw. Step in, step out, and throw. Take your anger out your pocket and throw it like a rocket. Take your anger out your pocket and throw it like a rocket. Take your anger out your pocket and throw it like a rocket. Take your anger out your pocket, throw it like a rocket. Take your anger out your pocket, throw it like a rocket. Okay, now, all the drama that you created in your life, you're going to scoop all that drama up. You're going to throw your foot out to the side, and you're going to throw the drama over your head. Pick up the bucket, throw out the drama. Pick up the bucket, throw out the drama. Put down the bucket, put down the drama. Go tell your mama, my issues in my tissues. Ain't nobody got time for this. I gotta get rid of my ish. Put down the bucket. Put down the drama. Go tell your mama, my issues in my tissues. Ain't nobody got time for this. I gotta get rid of my ish. Okay, now we're going to go back to the liver twist, only we're going to speed it up, okay? Anger, frustration, resentment, shame, blame, and guilt. This is no longer part of the program I built. Anger, frustration, resentment, shame, blame, and guilt. This is no longer part of the program I built. Take your anger out your pocket. Throw it like a rocket. Take your anger out your pocket. Throw it like a rocket. Okay, now we're going to go back to our original. Take the anger at yourself. Put it on the shelf. Take the anger at yourself. Put it on the shelf. Take the anger at yourself. Put it on the shelf. Angry with yourself. Put it on yourself. Okay, now you're just gonna bounce. Drop your shoulders. Do the bobblehead. Bang your heels on the ground. What was I angry about this morning? Oh, somebody insulted me? Oh, wow. I love insults. It's not what you call me. It's what I answer to. Let it go. Let it flow. Blue dragon, Qigong. Tells your chi how to flow. Yeah, I'm not angry anymore. Anger is totally useless. Waste of time. It takes energy away from me. I don't need anger. Okay. It's hot. I should take a sip of water. But I didn't bring any water with me.
Put Qigong in your game and your life will never be the same.
Your life will never be the
Qigong
same.
is what I need so that I can breathe. Qigong is moving slow
Even though my life
is fast. Qigong makes me flow so that I can
Qigong makes
relax.
me flow
Give
so I
healing
can
energy a
relax.
chance. Express
Qigong
Qigong through your dance. Put your hands on your hips.
Trauma
Put your
release.
hands on your hips. Side to side. Qigong.
This is the trauma release right here.
Now move to the left.
Side to side. Move to the left. Side to side. Qigong.
Side to side.
Qigong. Side to side. Now move to the right. Side to side. Move to the right. Side to side. Qigong. Side to side.
Now
Bend your knees
and dip, spank, dip, spank.
lift your knee and drum your bum.
Dip, spank. Now
Roller skate. Qigong now roller skate. Qigong now roller skate. Qigong now roller skate. Now lift your knee and drum your bum. Lift your knee and drum your bum. Now backward skate. Qigong now backward skate. Qigong side to side. Qigong side to side. Now Harlem shake it to the front. Harlem shake it to the front. Qigong now Harlem shake it to the front. Harlem shake it to the front. Qigong now Harlem shake it to the front. Harlem shake it to the front. Qigong now Harlem shake it to the rear. Harlem shake it to the rear. Qigong. Harlem shake it to the rear. Harlem shake it to the rear. Qigong now hands to the sides. And bounce now arms to the sides.
And bounce now arms to the sides.
And bounce now arms to the sides. Now bounce now fly to the sky.
Qigong
Now fly to the sky. Qigong now fly to the sky. Now open your heart side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now
Open your heart.
side to side. Qigong side to side.
Now open your heart
side to side. Qigong side to side. Now open your heart
side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now lift your lungs side to side. Qigong side to side. Now lift your lungs side to side. Qigong side to side. Now lift your lungs side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now loosen your liver side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now
Release the trauma.
side to side. Qigong side to side. Now
Release the trauma.
Qigong side to side. Now
Release the trauma.
Side to side. Qigong side to side. Now rub your belly.
Rub your belly.
Qigong side to side. Now rub your belly.
Rest and digest.
Qigong side to side. Now rub your belly.
Parasympathetic nervous system.
Now rub your belly.
Side to side.
Qigong side to side. Now
Bend from the waist.
Side to side.
Ball of chi in your hands. Now clean your kidneys.
Side to side.
Clear the fear.
Side to side. Qigong.
Clear the anxiety.
Side to side. Qigong side to side.
Clean the parasympathetic.
Ball of chi in your hands.
Clean your kidneys. Side to side. Clean your kidneys. Side to side. Qigong. Side to side. Now clean your spine.
You've been warned, you've been told.
Clear the trauma out of your cerebrospinal column.
Find your joy, find your peace.
Qigong, keep together.
7 days a week. Put your
Qigong
Qigong in
game.
game.
And your life will never be the same. You want to make a change in your life. You got to give up the vice. Clear your mind.
Coffee, the smoke, the soda, and
Give up the coke.
we got